afternoon, everybody. Welcome to your Friday weekend edition. It is I don't even know what day it is anymore. It's November 8th today, Friday. And finally I get to make it. I guess I could just bring up my date thing. It has a date on it on the screen here for you. I finally get to have a glass of whiskey with y'all. So cheers, little Angel's Envy. Thanks to my neighbor Randy down the street for a little Halloween present. Cheers to everybody. I see Big Ab asking Tofi, did you get SMR? Man, the whole nuclear place, man. I feel like I was late. I felt like I was late when I did the nuclear show. We did, what, 2-3 weeks ago now? Like, says going nuclear. And almost every one of them is just continuing on straight up. Wish I was a couple months earlier than that one. So cheers, everyone. Hope you had a great week. I had a fantastic week. Really passive investing. Obviously, the crypto was a huge bump for me in my portfolio. But also, just a lot of the options trades that I made. I actually, what did I have today expire worthless? I had some Rivian puts expire worthless. I have my Boeing puts expire worthless. I had my Coinbase expire worthless. And I made a ton of premium on Super Microcomputer. I know that some of you in here can be like, what? You sold puts on Super Micro? Yeah, I did. And we'll see. I got till next Friday. But the premium was just off the charts good, and I'm okay with that. I don't think they're going to go under. The delisting thing has me a little bit concerned, but I got 5 days worth, and we'll see how it goes. So it's been a very, very, very good week. I might even go out and have some shabu tonight just to celebrate. So anyway, let's talk about what kind of was the big movers of this week. When I talked to AI, yes, I talked to my AI Midjourney. I said, show me a bull market, but I want that bull to be made up of a bunch of different market sectors. I want consumer discretionary, I want energy, I want internet, I want technology, I want all these different market sectors, because it really feels like this week there was almost nothing that was showing a lot of weakness. Everything was pretty bullish for the week. I'm going to run through the 12 different market ETFs here just to kind of see what it looks like for the week. I'll put them on a weekly candle. But man, incredibly bullish, incredibly optimistic. Now, before we get ahead of ourselves, and those of you who are Trump supporters and who are like, it's going to save the world, nothing's changed yet, right? Let's be clear, nothing has happened yet. I posted something the other day, like, I forgot what I tweeted out. It was something about Ross, getting freed from prison, Ross Ulbricht. And, Trump said he'd do that day one. And somebody posted right away, promises made, promises delivered. Trump always says it. He hasn't done anything yet, right? We got to wait and see once he takes office. And, there's a lot of initiatives that I'm optimistic about. I think a lot of it's going to be pretty good. But boy, I don't think he can do them all. And we'll see what gets left behind. Hopefully Ross Ulbricht gets freed day one, like you said. That's a one-handed chainsaw juggle. Yeah, it is, Big Ev. I didn't go too heavy. I have 20 contracts, so nothing crazy. It's what? My strike price is 23, so I'd be $46,000 worth, plus the premium that I collected was like $490. So, my average price is going to be down around $18. All right, 18.10. So I'm okay with that. I don't think we'll get to 18.10. If we do, we'll do damage control, sell some calls against it. But, the numbers have been looking pretty bad. And, of course, the Ernst & Young walking away has a lot of people just terrified. And many times I'm into selling in that fear. And I'm not a big fan of SMCI personally. I don't think it's like a great company. But, the things that they're doing have been generating income. You look at their numbers. They're still making money. They're still making fairly decent money. Granted, it'll probably slow down significantly in the growing quarters, depending on how damage control is done internally over there at SMCI. But it was one of those ones I had some money lying around. I'm like, all right, I'll sell some puts on that. The bigger positions that I have, obviously Rivian, and I've been playing this many ways. I'm selling calls against my current long position. I'm selling puts as well to generate even more premium. And I've been selling those puts at right around $10. So the premium's been fantastic, doing those on weekly time frames and just been, let's say, paying dividends. So it's been pretty good. I'll get to that in just a second, Chio. But yeah, this is kind of the main one because I've got a pretty large position in it, and just selling those calls have been really, really good. Well, aren't their numbers unaudited? Yes. At this point, they have not been signed off completely. So I'm not sure whether this was unaudited from Ernst & Young. Remember, Ernst & Young wasn't... There were integrity issues, right? So to the extent to which the data has not been verified, not quite sure on that one, but we'll see if I have mud on my face on next Friday. Good news is I've got a bunch of other positions to balance me out should I be wrong. All right, so I wanted this graphic to show more like tech and everything, but really bullish markets across the board. So let me go and bring up a weekly time frame here just so we can look at what happened on a weekly candle for all these broad market sectors and see what they look like. So let me bring it over here. I'm going to start off with one that has been extremely bullish. Why is my chart updating? Consumer discretionary. I mean, you look at the week for consumer discretionary, it is jaw-dropping. And this is a phenomenal week of 8.15% for consumer discretionary. Expectations, I believe, are that everyone's thinking more money's going to be out there. Lower taxes for corporates, for people, more spending, that drives consumption. But then again, remember, we haven't changed anything yet. It's all talk. Now, granted, the Senate and the House of Representatives being under Republican control, the likelihood of a lot of these initiatives that Trump wants to pass getting through should pass fairly easily, unless there's something really egregious in it. So, I'm optimistic for it, but again, nothing has changed here. We haven't seen those tax cuts yet. We haven't seen any real stimulus or impact from a Trump presidency. It may come down the run. Exactly. Retired Jim says, speculative bull run. And those are always, those are dangerous. I feel like skeptical bull market runs are the worst ones because it's all running on hopes and fears. And usually when something's running on hopes and expectations, if those expectations aren't met to the fullest extent, then it comes crashing back down. Liz says, I think Tesla is a massive component of XLY, that's the rocket. Yeah, that's a really weird one. If you look at, you're right. Let me go over here to bar chart. It's weird to me. I guess you could call it discretionary, but it is the number one component, if I remember correctly, in XLY. I'll bring it up here real quick, obviously. No, it's actually number two. So Amazon's number one at 23% of XLY. That I get. Tesla, sure, I guess you're buying cars. 15.15. Home Depot, Bookings, Holdings, McDonald's, those are all in consumer discretionary. For me, I guess I don't put cars. I guess maybe it's just me. If I have a few extra bucks, I'm not thinking about buying a new car. I'm buying other goods and services. But yeah, you're right, Liz. That's probably a part of the reason. We can look at Amazon here as well. But let me get back to our charts here. That was your best performer on the week. I mean, it's been absolutely fantastic. You look at healthcare, not a horrible week, but certainly reversing this downward trend we've had for about 3 months now. Nice bullish engulfing pattern on the weekly. I'm sure Bob Dunn would love this one. Yes, Tesla certainly isn't a staple, so XLY seems a good home for it. Yeah, I don't know where we would classify XLY. I mean, are cars consumer discretionary? I guess they are. Utilities also posting a good week after 2 weeks of ugly sell-off. Not a huge gain, but a nice turnaround there. Technology, a great boost here. XLK breaking through to all-time highs. You see a rip to all-time highs and actually closed an all-time high. Didn't make a new all-time high. That was back in July of this year. But given the trajectory and the rate that we're going, it could easily happen. Thank you, NVIDIA and Tesla, which we'll talk about in a second. Industrials, right? Larry and I talked on the program on how both candidates, whoever would win, would probably do good for infrastructure. Well, you got industrials here looking pretty good for the week. I'll get you a percentage number here so you guys can see exactly what it did. You're looking at 5.92%. Now, granted, most of these indexes, which we'll look at here in just a second, also have 5% gains for the NASDAQ, S&P, Russell, and then some. Energy as well, ripping through. This is financials, screaming to the upside this week. Energy, monster move up in energy. This is probably the most tricky one because you've heard Trump say, I'll fix the problems with Russia and Ukraine right away. It's all going to be done. As soon as I take office, I'll fix all that, right? Okay, it's not that simple, buddy. Neither is the conflict with Israel, the conflict with Iran. These issues are going to take some time to get through, and that leaves a lot of uncertainty with what's going to happen with the price of oil, particularly energy, right? If we get a follow-through on some of the things that I mentioned on the presidential election show with Larry, which is under a Trump administration, he most likely will open up a lot of federal lands to exploration for fossil fuels, whether that's coal, whether that's natural gas, whether that's oil. Open it up, drill, baby, drill. If that happens, that should theoretically drop the price of oil. However, you also have issues going on with OPEC, right? OPEC was supposed to cut production yesterday. Increase production yesterday, and they haven't. They're deciding to forego that. And sure, I would forego increasing production too. I would cut back production if I'm OPEC because I want higher prices for oil, more money for me. What else we got in here? Building materials, probably the weakest segment of the week. All right, weakest segment of the week is going to be building materials. On the week, just from where it opened to where it closed, it was still a gainer. You had less than 1% gain. So, all right, building materials, no love there. And then real estate, also moving to the upside. So this was bull market euphoria across the board. When you look at the broad market sectors for the S&P, there really wasn't a loser. What will happen at some point is we are going to get a loser here, and something will start to fall by the wayside. Fine. At this point, you just got to stay on that bullish train. Oliver says Putin did announce he will talk to Trump. Good. Good. Talk to Trump. Hopefully we can get it. Bicycles are discretionary. Autos are staples. All right. I don't know the classifications. Yeah, Elon Musk had a pretty good week, 20 to 25 billion. And Big Ab, for me, the big thing is not just, we'll look at Tesla here in a second. It's not just Tesla. I really think that the bombshells are going to drop next year with SpaceX, the government working with SpaceX, all kinds of contracts for SpaceX to get out there into Mars and establish American colony on Mars. That type of thing. Man, that can be just monstrous. So good news pretty much across the board. We saw yields drop today, which is also positive for those of you who, like myself, were a little bit nervous about that yield spike. Here is your weekly. Right, you got a giant shooting star here on the weekly time frame. But let's go back to the daily so we can see today's about face. Boom. All right, so you had 2 days worth of about face. We hit that 4.5 mark. We actually got up to 4.479 and then started to sell off from there. So all in all, still looking pretty good. We'd like to see these lows that we established back on Wednesday hold on that yield and continue to move up. I'll leave that trend line that's there. Which actually, this is not a trend line. This is from when the Piper Jaffray analyst was saying that he thinks it'll be 5% by the end of the year. So I left that line on there. Just put it on. Shortcut to Space Force. Yep. Yeah, Big Ab. I wish there was a way. I wish I had connections enough where I could find a way to get involved. And if they said, hey, if you give us $100,000 today, we'll get you in on SpaceX before it does its IPO, I'd be there for sure. The big challenge will happen. We'll talk about this when that finally does come out, when the news breaks that they're going to do an IPO, which my guess will be either next year or the year after. By the time that IPO goes public and the day it officially goes public, it's going to be the most sought after IPO out there. There's going to be so much hype. The way that these institutional firms do their road shows and promote stocks, they're just going to look at it and go, it's the only company looking to colonize another planet. That's infinite resources, essentially. It's sky's the limit here. So yeah, could be crazy. Crazy. Michael says, I'm shocked there's not been a lot of profit taking from Tesla. Well, why would there be? You've got right now Trump's best friend. I would argue that right now Elon Musk is probably Trump's best friend, and Trump knows that. And he's using Trump, and Musk is using Trump, and Trump is using Musk. It's this symbiotic relationship that is just going to benefit them both tremendously, given, Elon Musk, the guy who really gets stuff done, an incredibly successful businessman. And then there's Trump, who claims to be an incredibly successful businessman, but history and the numbers have shown he's really not the greatest businessman, but he's a great propaganda. He's a great media guy. He understands how to get people's emotions riled up and how to get people to either love him or hate him, doesn't matter. It just gets him attention and it pushes him higher. So Elon Musk is a good person, because now if Trump decides to do these initiatives and get Musk involved to make those efficient and look profitable and win, then that will reflect on Donald Trump as a big winner here. So I think right now Trump's looking at Elon Musk going, thank goodness this guy just kind of fell into my lap here. I'm using it. And I think there will be a lot of benefit to Elon Musk. I mean, if you look at who might be the first trillionaire on the planet, my guess is it's going to be one of two people. You guys tell me, who do you think would be the first trillionaire, right? An individual who has got $1 trillion net worth. Who do you think it's going to be? I've got two in mind. Yeah, I got two in mind. And obviously one we just mentioned, but Mike, it will be McDonald's. Mike, so will it be first business on Mars or be a bar or a brothel? I like that, Mike. Who knows what's going to happen on Mars, man. I have visions of Star Wars, If you look at what happened in Star Trek with the communicators and all this stuff, that's not our reality. If you look at Star Wars, we're headed there. All right, so here we got guesses for the first trillionaire. Jensen Huang, Saylor or Musk? Bezos? Putin? Okay. The difficult part there, Tofi, with Putin is nobody knows. Nobody knows. I mean, that guy's shrouded in mystery. There's assumptions that he might already be a trillionaire. I don't think so, but I guess we'll never know the answer to that one. I put Elon Musk down just because of the businesses he has lined up. If you look at, obviously, Tesla, you look at the robots, the robo-taxis, I think that's going to put Tesla in a multi-trillion-dollar market cap, and that, of course, benefits Musk. But then I think SpaceX will be that next piece. And then you have Neuralink, which at this point is in its infancy. I know some of you think of Neuralink and go, no, that's messing with God. I don't want to do that. Some of the things they're doing is pretty unreal, amazing sci-fi stuff that, for the benefit of humanity, for people who can't see, for people who can't use their arms or have paralysis permanently, you can fix that with this. And to me, that is going to be huge business down the road. So yeah, I would say Musk or Michael Saylor. Because if Bitcoin has the run that I think it's going to have, Michael Saylor will benefit immensely from this. Now, is it Michael Saylor or is it going to be MicroStrategy, right? Because Michael Saylor doesn't own that Bitcoin. It's MicroStrategy's. And from my understanding, he sold his shares of MicroStrategy or something like that. So could it be Kim Jong-un? Oh, no, not Kim Jong-un. The Saudi king could as well. Yep. Those are also numbers that we won't be able to tell clearly, right? It's pretty evident what Elon Musk has because a lot of the shares he owns are required to be reported, whereas the holdings of the Saudi king, we don't know. We don't know what a lot of like Putin holds either. We have assessments. Satoshi, that's a good one, Martin, but we don't know who Satoshi is, right? I personally think I thought Satoshi Nakamoto would be government. I thought it'd be like an NSA project. If it's an individual, I think that they have passed on or they've forgotten their private keys because you've got a 1.1 million Bitcoin sitting there. That's 70, call it $80 billion. And you haven't touched one penny of it? Not one penny? I'm pretty sure that every single person watching this right now, if you had $80 billion sitting in front of you, and all you had to do, you could just take a little bit. I don't need it all, but I'll take $1 million and buy myself a nice home, right? And just prove my quality. I'm pretty sure we'd all do it. I know I would. So either that private key is missing and those 1.1 million Bitcoin are burned forever, or that individual is dead. There's no way that someone could sit there and never touch it, never move it. I just don't see it happening. Should we consider buying MicroStrategy now? Les, it's a good question. Obviously, not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I can't do anything like that. But if you, or not MSFT, MSTR. Again, it really goes to your thoughts on Bitcoin. If you're as bullish as I am on Bitcoin, and you look at the future of adoption and what President Trump says he will do for Bitcoin and the community, I think that ushers in global adoption at a massive scale. If that is your belief as well, then MicroStrategy would probably be a good play, right? That'd probably be a good way to go because that's predominantly what they have. They've got just so much Bitcoin. When Bitcoin surges, you'll be rewarded that way. Granted, anything could happen. Anything could happen. We could see Bitcoin fall precipitously. Regulation goes against it. Who knows? There's a wild west unknown future for crypto and digital assets. But hopefully the next administration will add some clarity, some rules, and really tell the people that it's here to stay. We're just going to make sure we protect the consumers in the process. Tofi, I'm going to get into... So JB sent me an email and regarding getting into... BITX, which is a double leverage long Bitcoin. And I'm definitely going to talk about that one today. I'm going to show you a comparison between double long, single short, double short Bitcoin ETFs and why you have to be really careful in here and trust no one. Okay. But let me get through this other stuff first. Obviously, NVIDIA continuing its surge higher. We talked about it being the largest market cap company in the world. Pretty awesome. I will go here to the screener over at FinViz to show you this one, the sort by market cap. And NVIDIA, 3.6 trillion. We got Apple at 3.4 trillion. It's surprising to me, the expectations here, because if you look at what Apple does, right? This, from a company analysis perspective, always drives me crazy. If you look at what Apple does, their everywhere. They're in every part of the country, every part of the world. You've got Apple phones, you got Apple watches, you got the store, you have all sorts of Apple Music, all sorts of resources that people are using from Apple. You look at NVIDIA. You got to ask yourself, how many of you are using an NVIDIA product today? I know I am. I mean, I'm running this show video card is an NVIDIA video card. But, when I use my Midjourney, my ChatGPT, I'm probably using NVIDIA products. At some point, to me, what this price valuation tells me is that everybody's going to be using NVIDIA products. Like, it's going to be running everything from that information and AI phase. That to me is what this price valuation says. I don't know. I mean, I think competition is going to start to push into this arena, but it's going to take years to supplant NVIDIA or even get close to their dominance in that marketplace. So could Jensen Huang be the first trillionaire person? I don't think so. I think that the dilution of ownership of NVIDIA is pretty significant. I don't think that he has a huge holding on this. I guess I have to look that one up. I guess I have to look it up and see exactly how many shares of this he owns. But, 3.6 trillion, if he's going to be a trillionaire, what market cap does NVIDIA need to get to? That's a good question. And maybe while we're working through today's show, I'll go and look at that and find out how many. Actually, you guys tell me how many shares if you can find it, since you can type and talk and listen, or type and listen, find out how many shares he has, or just what percentage of the total NVIDIA shares does Jensen have. That way we can calculate out how high NVIDIA's price would need to get before Jensen would reach that trillionaire mark. All right, let's see. What do we got here? Sold some December 20th, 180 puts on MicroStrategy today. Just got 2.25. Nice. 2.2% for over a month. Not bad. Not bad. Let's go and look and see where that put is. Let's see. With the volatility that's involved with MicroStrategy, I would think that you probably should have gotten more premium than that, or rate of return than that. But let's go to MSTR. All right, and you sold the 180s. Let me go out there and see where that one is. Oh yeah, you got a good. You're definitely pretty safe on that one. That's not bad. It would have to drop from current levels, have to drop 35% to get there. I don't see Bitcoin dropping 35%. Okay, so he has 3.6% of all NVIDIA. Okay, thank you, Big Ed. So if we look at this table over here, let's go that one, and let me bring up a calculator here. Some of you guys can probably do this calculation faster than I can. If the current valuation is 3.6 trillion, 3621, oh boy, it's going to take me a long time to figure this one out. And he's got 3.6. Now, I'll have to figure this. I can't do this live. I can't do my numbers live. Anyway, I think that you'd have to get this significantly higher. Like, you'd have to be in the $20 trillion, more than that. You'd probably have to be in the $30 trillion mark for NVIDIA, for him to be a trillionaire off of NVIDIA. If he has 3%, you have to be close to 30 trillion. So I don't think that that's going to happen. He's got 100 billion now. To get to a trillion, this thing have to do another 10x. That could certainly happen, but I don't see that happening. Sorry. The CEO still holds 75.5 million shares of NVIDIA directly, another 786 million through various trusts and other partnerships. All right. Well, maybe next week I'll break that down and I'll do a show on who's going to be the next trillionaire. How about that? I'll do a show and I'll run through the top 5 people of who we can track, right? I can't tell you what Putin's numbers are because I don't think anybody knows, or the king of Saudi Arabia. It's all him just saying, I'm worth $1 trillion, right? Let's see, what else have I got here? I got 1% on MicroStrategy, 150 puts for the week. Wow, 150s? That's great. I mean, look, if you're selling 150 puts on MicroStrategy, which is so far away from current market, your risk is pretty low, and you're making 1% for the week. I mean, MicroStrategy, you have to drop 45%. Love it. Great. Fantastic. Yeah, I have to look more into MicroStrategy. I haven't traded options on MicroStrategy. For some reason, it's something I've never traded, but maybe I'll start dabbling with that one as well. So NVIDIA, the king of kings right now, number 1 in the world. The other one I thought was interesting is this here, Tesla. Again, EV companies today did pretty darn good. If you look at, you guys saw Canoe today, my Go EV. I was debating buying some at 30 cents, and I'm like, no, I just can't do it. It was up 26% today. Nab it. I should have bought some in the 30s. But Go EV, look at Lucid. Oops, LCID. We talked about these the other day, how we're getting crushed. All of a sudden, nice big rebound today. Rivian starting to bounce as well. I have the 1150 strikes expiring on the 15th, so I got another week to go before I get to that level. I think I'm going to actually be fine. I would love it if we closed at 1149 on next Friday. I'll take a shot on the air. I'm not going to take a sip. I'll take a shot if we get to 1159 and close right there. Perfect. Then I'll sell the $13 calls. Yep, coming back up after yesterday's drop. Yeah, just interesting, Tofi. And then you look at Tesla. This is just incredible. To me, this just does reflect the market sentiment that there's going to be a you scratch my back, I scratch your kind of attitude with Trump and Musk. You look since the election day. So you go the evening of the election on Tuesday, right, as we went into it, to where we are today, Tesla's up 27%. Wow. 27%. John says my Tesla will be called away most likely be called away next week. Nice 25% gain for about a month time. Hey, John, it sucks. You're like, my Tesla's going to be called away, but there's no way you can be unhappy with a 25% rate of return for a month, right? That's pat yourself on the back for that one. Right place, right time, got lucky. And who knows, this may have a pullback, but Tesla really just screaming to the upside. Tesla and NVIDIA, really the pieces, in my opinion, that are causing these markets to have such big moves up and such strength for the week. It's been fantastic. Now, again, we have not rounded a corner yet. We have not had a new president in place. We've had him not voted in, but no policies, no rule changes, nothing has changed yet. So, yeah, that's like it. For my trades that expired this week, I didn't make any new ones today, but if you look at Coinbase, we talked about how Coinbase would probably be a very good benefit greatly from a Trump administration, and ever since the election day, this may even be a bigger gain than Tesla. 39% jump up for Coinbase. All right. Now, I'd sold the 160 puts, which obviously those are going to expire worthless, but it's kind of crazy to think. I sold the 160 puts back here like on October 31st, somewhere in there, and it's gone from 176 to 270 in 5 days. That is a just crazy run. Bummer I didn't own this one outright. I still regret that I didn't buy it back here when it was in the $40 range. You guys remember we were talking about it here, and I said the one big risk with Coinbase is it potentially could go bankrupt. And if it does, I don't want to be holding it. And that scared me away. My belief that there was so much pain in the crypto and trouble that this one may have gone down. Boy, I'm regretting that one now. This is almost 10x'd from its lows back in 2023. Pretty crazy. All right, let's go do one other interesting thing here, and this is for JB. So JB was asking me about buying BITX. He says, if your thoughts are that Bitcoin's going to continue to move up, why don't you just buy BITX and sit on this one and just ride it out? Not a bad idea. I think that everyone here would agree that if you feel strongly that an instrument, or whatever it is going to go up, and you have extremely strong arguments for it, then why not do a 2x? Heck, do a 3x if you're really passionate about it. The problem with these leveraged ETFs is decay. The way that they're calculated at the end of the day, it causes them to go down. So let's say I buy on January 1st, I'll just do SPY as an example. I buy SPY on January 1st. And on December 31st, it closes at the exact same price. The exact same. So there should be no change in any of the instruments. The double long will be losing money. The double short will be losing money. The single long will be losing money. Actually, the SPY won't be losing money because that'll be right where it's at. But the single short will be losing money because of the way they're calculated. So I wanted to bring this up with Bitcoin ETFs. So here we have, I know this is kind of a mess. Suffering from decay on Beto. And Beto is, not that bad. It's not a leveraged product. It's a futures product, but it's not like a double or triple, right? Beto is a single futures product. You got to get out of the futures products anyway. The rollover will kill you, and just, stay away from futures. Go with IBIT if you're going to go with anything. But here is back to April of this year, all right? April 2nd, 2024. This is the first time that all four of these instruments were trading. And what I have on here is I have BITX. That's the first one, which I think is red. That's a double long, okay? Keep in mind, the red is double long. The blue is IBIT. That is the Blackshares Bitcoin ETF. The green, I think that's green, is a single short. That's BITI. That's single short Bitcoin. And then the purple thing over here, I think it's purple or pink, is SBIT, and that is a double short ETF. All right. So look at this real quick. If the blue one here is the one, I mean that's IBIT. That is the BlackRock Bitcoin ETF. It's up 15%. You guys tell me, if the BlackRock ETF since April 2nd that represents the price of Bitcoin is up 15%, what should the double long Bitcoin ETF be? This is simple math, folks. This is like third grade math here. If it's up 15%, then double 15% means that the BITX should be up 30%, right? Good, class. Sometimes, these numbers seem too basic. But look what's happened here. BITX is the red line. It's actually down 2.28%. It's double long Bitcoin, which is up 15%, but it's actually negative 2.28. So right away, you have to know something's wrong with BITX. I would not buy this one. I wouldn't hold this one. This tells me something's fundamentally broken. Now, if you look at the single short, which is the green one here, it's down 22.49. You're like, wait a minute. It should be down 15 because it's single short. No, time decay makes this even worse. So if you're long short ETFs, you actually benefit over time. Look at the double short, the purple one. It's down 53.97%. 53.97%. It's crazy. Really, it's shocking how the decay part works on this one. And honestly, this BITX is broken. No one should buy this. I'd like to dig deeper into why it's so broken, but this just does not make sense. Anyway, there you go. I'm sure this has a lot to do with the way it's calculated and the decay, but JB, there's why you don't trade long-term. And mind you, this is just decay since April, right? If the Bitcoin ETF is up 15%, 16.2, then the double short should be down 32.4, excuse me. But it's down 53. So there is a massive decay here. And if you hold these long term, the longer you hold them, the more they decay, the more they break down. And that's just something that a lot of people just don't understand. They go, oh, I want to go double long this market, whether it's Bitcoin or natural gas with oil. You name it, there's so many different things. The longer you hold a leveraged ETF, the worse it is for you. Toby's, I'm going to get out of BITO and going into IBIT. IBIT is probably the better one. It's not the cheapest. I think it's 0.29% management fee. There were some others that were 0.2%, so slightly cheaper. But, BITO is higher than 0.29. Grayscale's Bitcoin ETF is 1.5%. So, yeah. Crazy. Anyway, JB, I hope that helps when you look at this. You say, okay, I understand now why I don't want to hold them. I've done the same sort of analysis here with the SPY, but maybe down the road I'll do it with something else as well. We can do it with the NASDAQ with the triple Qs because there's a double, triple, or double, single, long, and short for both of these. Not a good idea. And it's easy to get wrapped up in the belief, oh, I think Bitcoin's going to rally 100%, therefore I buy BITX and I'm going to make 200%. No, I mean, what this chart is showing you here is that Bitcoin rallied 15%. This one's actually losing money. So Bitcoin could rally 100% and this one might make like 15. Well, why bother, right? Stay with the one-to-one ETF. You don't get the decay from rollover. You don't get the miscalculations, etc. So I hope that offered a little bit of clarity to JB and some of the others here. I know some of you have been asking about, buying Bitcoin ETFs. For me personally, I don't own any Bitcoin ETFs. I just buy Bitcoin outright. If I did buy Bitcoin, I'd probably buy IBIT, which is the BlackRock, the biggest, most liquid one. That's generally what I would like to be trading out there. All right. You got it. Leverage products is just dangerous stuff to me. If it only goes up and never down, then they work. Even if they just go up, you still wouldn't get the same rate of return. But you're right, the down moves really destroy it and mess it all up real bad. All right, seeing as there aren't yet any options on BTC ETFs, what instruments are used in the leverage ETFs? You mean, how are they creating that? I'm not sure. That's a great question on how are they doing it. My guess is it's some sort of financial obligation between firms, like a credit default swap or something like that, where, yeah, I don't know. Typically, there's going to be an options or some futures product involved with that, but how are they doing it? I'm not sure. Not sure on that one. Not sure. Let me go to BITX. I'm just curious what they do for BITX. See if they show constituents on here. So I'm going to see if I can find the components of it. Constituents. They're not going to show me anything, are they? Nothing. No constituents in it. Let's go to the double short, SBIT. Pro shares, Ultra Bitcoin ETF short, and doesn't tell me anything about it. Right? This kind of scares me. Right? This scares me because you don't know what you're buying. You're just buying something that tells you, oh, we do this. We are double short Bitcoin. Yet we're not going to tell you in any way, shape, or form how it's done. Now you can go to Pro shares. Let's go to SBIT. And you can look up the prospectus on here. So if you go right there is the SBIT ETF. In the description, they will tell you a little bit about what they're trying to do, but it doesn't necessarily have to tell you exactly how they're doing it. It says this fund does not directly short Bitcoin. There is no guarantee the fund will achieve its daily performance targets. Yeah. I'll read through this. I might be a little bit bored, but I will probably read through this one just to kind of get an idea of how they're getting this. You're right. If there's no options on these products, how are you getting that sort of leverage to make it 2-to-1? And in the past, I've seen it where they do relationships with different institutions and like I said, like a default swap or credit swap. Should I sell SOXL? I don't know. I'm not a financial advisor. It's up to you, man. We can look at it. Direction daily semiconductor triple. Oh boy, jeez. We just talked about this. You're in a triple leverage. This is even worse, right? So if you're holding this thing, Platinum, your decay, your time decay, you're losing money every day if this thing even goes sideways. If it just does nothing, like a day like today, well, it was down 2.2%. But if this just goes sideways and does nothing, you're losing money. So personally, the only time you should buy this thing is if you are strong belief you're going to see a big move to the upside. And if we look at it right now, this is the semiconductor triple bull shares. And it looks like it's just sideways chop, not doing anything. So this has been, you're lucky you're up 20%, honestly. The way this thing has been moving, it should be just eating away at that triple long. Now, if I go to something like, are you messing with me? Was that a joke, Platinum? Is that, I got it. You're just seeing if okay, get me all riled up. If you look at SMH, look at SMH. It's actually moving up, right? You got higher lows and higher highs, at least since this low point back here in August. So it's kind of slowly moving up. I would say I would dump it. Again, I emphasize this point. Everybody here needs to understand how dangerous these leverage ETFs are. Doubles, triples, singles, the inverse stuff. If it's leveraged, you're going to be subject to a lot of decay. I think I've done a show on that in the past where we talk about the leverage decay, but until you see the price performance on a chart, it's most don't know. You just don't know these things. So yeah, the triple long, triple short, you're only using those for short-term trades, like a couple of days, like a day trade. All right, that's really what these, I believe, were intended for, is short-term intraday movements where, okay, it might move 1% intraday, but if I'm in the triple, now I get 3%. But you got to be out by the end of that day because the decay happens on the rollover when they price it in at the end of the day. Dangerous stuff. All right. What else did I have for you guys today? I don't think I had much else. Yeah, I don't think I had much else for you today. Let me see. Can you explain what happened with the warrants on CLSK? No, I don't do anything with warrants. I don't do anything with warrants. And warrants are just like rights to buy more shares down the road, almost like an option, but I don't, outside my scope of understanding, John. Not understanding, I know the basics, but I couldn't tell you what happened to the CleanSpark warrants. No idea. No idea. Sorry, my friend. That's one you're going to stump me on. How well does IBIT track the real thing? All right, so unfortunately, I can't go to bar chart and bring up, stockcharts.com and bring up something like USD or BTC. Oh, maybe I can. BTC USD, and let's add an IBIT. Let's see if it does it. There's your answer right there. It actually is spot on. Now, granted, I think there'll be slightly different pieces, obviously because of fees. But if you look at since they started back here, back in February of this year, I mean, that's pretty lock stock. So that is pretty darn close to what's going on with the actual underlying price of Bitcoin. So IBIT tracking very closely. Now, for fun, let's go and put the double long, which was BITX. I love comparison charts like this, guys. It's just interesting to see how things relate to each other. This is the double long since January. Interesting. It actually shows this actually shows definitely better performance. So it shows here that the Bitcoin price since the beginning of this chart was up 90%, and the double long is up 126. So it's definitely better, but it also is not up double, right? Marcus, is the Trump victory the only catalyst for Tesla stock? No, I don't think that the Trump victory is the only thing. I think we've talked at length about what are some of the other driving factors here. I think the success of the Cybertruck is certainly a piece of that success. I think another part of it is their dominance in the industry, right? As other EV companies struggle. And I want to verify that, but somebody actually messaged and commented on the YouTube page that Elon Musk has actually been talking down, like, we don't need these tax credits. I did not know that. And if Elon Musk is talking down the tax credits, what does that mean? That means that his company feels it's stable enough that it doesn't need the tax credits, and that could crush these other car companies just starting out. So that's a way to squash the competition, which makes, again, Elon Musk and Tesla the biggest show in town for EVs. Now, that just is how my mind was thinking about that, processing that information. When you look at the AI, the robotics, this driverless car, and the robotaxi, to me, that's where it is. That's what the expectations are driving price, or the future expectations are driving price. In my mind, and we could talk about Don Fran as well. You know, I'm sure if we brought Don on and talk about this, he'd say robots are going to be everywhere, and they're going to be Tesla. Not just the robot, but also the AI that's running those robots. And maybe that's a subscription service to get to different levels of intellect on your robot, right? You want the southerner, the redneck robot where it's just like, I like bear and go fishing? Or do you want one that's like your scientist brain surgeon that knows all these? Maybe you buy different levels of AI. I don't know. I don't know what the future holds there. But for me, the robot is one of these things my eyes are just spinning thinking of how much money they could make from those. Then you look at the driverless cars, the robotaxis. That could change transportation as we know it if we have robotaxis, especially for those, if you own a Tesla, if it actually goes into the fleet and starts driving people around. So to me, that's what it is. It's the expectation. Not only do you have these other areas of business outside of vehicles, but you also now have a very cozy relationship with the President of the United States, which can pass through a lot of things that might not just benefit Tesla, could benefit a lot of other companies that Elon Musk is involved with. So I see a lot of win-win here for Tesla long term. And, you know, another piece to this would be, I forgot it. I already had it in my head, but it disappeared. Bring a Don Fran on? Sure. I'll bring on Don Fran. Let's see. I heard that cheaper cars are coming from Tesla. Yeah, they've been saying that for a while. They're going to build cheaper versions. And then they change their mind and, we're going to do this type of thing. So, look, they've been saying they're going to build that Roadster for, feels like a decade now. I would love to see that Roadster in action. I mean, I'm not a car guy. I'd rather spend my money on things that really matter. But, man, that Tesla Roadster, incredible. So fast, so cool. I'd love to have it. What else? They have big semi-trucks. Right, Margaret? I didn't even go down that route. You know, and this is something that, for those of you who don't drive a lot, or you drive around in a city, this doesn't impact you. It's not really that big of a deal. But for anybody who's traveling interstate and going on the 5, the 55, the 10, you know, all these big major, you know, interstate roads, man, you get stuck behind a truck. It's just such a nightmare. You may not curse. You may be a person who's never cursed in your life. I'll tell you, nothing brings you closer to cursing than getting stuck behind two semis on a road doing 55 miles an hour, and you know you should be doing 70, and you're like, man, this is cutting into my time. Serenity now. Yeah, if everybody's all programmed, those trucks will all be doing the exact same speed. It'll make smoother traffic, less accidents. Oh, I love it. Can't wait. Energy storage. I mean, you name it, they're in it. So yeah, expectation. Tiger. Been a while. Good to see you. Shorted Euro USD for a swing trade the other day. Trump effect and the Eurozone challenges plus tariff threat. Thoughts? Yeah, so you're shorting the euro, you're going long the dollar, which at this point, when you look at that price chart, that's where you should be, right? I think the dollar is rounded that corner. Let's look at the dollar index, which is pretty much the euro chart, right? We've got this nice big move that's happened. I feel like that we've had the yellow box on here, and the thought was until we broke out of it, stay short. And all of a sudden, we ripped up to the top. Now, all of a sudden, we've ripped through supply zones. It feels to me like this dollar is going to be getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And then when you look at the long-term bond yields rising, today they dropped, but they have been rising aggressively. More people will be buying, converting to U.S. dollars, meaning they need to buy dollars to buy our bonds, which have a higher yield, and that could drive the dollar up even more. So I think going short the euro, which would be theoretically long the dollar, is the right thing to do. Now, if you go here to look at the Forex chart of it, it really hasn't done much for the past couple of years, but now all of a sudden you have this double top formation that peaked out back in September of this year. Now we're making lower highs, right? Nice big trend. The challenge for you, if you're short that euro, is you've got a couple levels that we're coming into real soon. You've got these lower levels. Again, these are just the bottoms, right around 106.7 and 106 even. And it looks like we'd had a little bit of bounce off those. So ideally what will happen is it's going to bounce. Maybe bounce up to like that 108 level, maybe 107.75, hesitate, and then start its trend back down. But I do think that a Trump administration would be bullish for the U.S. dollar. Therefore, the euro would be getting weaker. So I'm okay with that. I think that's the right side of that trade to be on. Hope that helped, Tiger. What else do we have? Chio, you asked me something. What was it? Bring it back. I can't type it in again, Chio. I can't. I'm trying to scroll up to find it, but I can't remember what your question was, and I told you I'd get to it later, but then I got lost in the shuffle here, and things happen on the show when you do it live. So you type in that question again, my friend, and I will be happy to answer it. I just can't remember what exactly it was. And if you guys have any others here have questions, let me know. I'm happy to answer those as well for you real soon. Wonder which companies will benefit from Drill Baby Drill. Did Larry cover this? No, we didn't cover specific companies. I mean, obviously, I think ExxonMobil, your typical big players, ExxonMobil, Chevron, ConocoPhillips, I think those will all probably do pretty good. Oh, okay, meme coins. So Chia wants to know about meme coins. Look, what are meme coins? For those who don't know, a meme coin is something that's created out of thin air. It serves no purpose. It has no value, no real value. It doesn't do anything. It has no developers and no community. I can create. Thank you, Margaret. Appreciate that. I can create a meme coin in 7 minutes. I've told you this repeatedly. I can create one in 7 minutes. I could create it to say anything you want. I could create the Trump is King coin, right? And then what I'll do is I find the right people to promote it. So here's how the process works. In 7 minutes, I can create the coin. It costs me probably a couple dollars to make it worth of Ethereum or BNB, depending on which one you would like to do. So I create the coin. And now what I have to do is I take that coin and I go to the smart contract. And I take the code for that smart contract and I bring that over to my wallet and I import that. Now I have, let's say, 1 trillion of these Trump is King coins in my wallet. Now I go to something like Uniswap and I create a liquidity pool. And what that means is I've got 1 trillion of these Trump is King coins, TIC coins, TIK. It's a TIC coin, TIK. I'll take my a portion of that. So let's say I've got 1 trillion of them, right? I'll take 250 billion. So I'm taking 25% of all of them, and I throw them in this liquidity pool. Now, because I created the liquidity pool, I now say these 250 billion Trump coins are worth X amount per. So here's how much they're worth each. So I deposit money. I deposit 100,000 or whatever amount I want. You want some amount of liquidity. And I deposit those in there. Now I go on the market and I pump it. I give 100 million to not P. Diddy. That'd probably be a bad idea. But I give 100 million to Trump. I give 100 million to Musk. I give 100 million to different people. All I hope they do is just mention it on their Twitter feed. That's it. That's all I want to know. Just say Trump is King coin. I got some. Done. Because all these people will buy this meme coin because Trump said it or Musk said it or Kardashian said it, Kanye West, whomever. They buy it. And that liquidity pool is so small, that meaning there's not a lot of liquidity there, that any demand on that causes the price to surge through the roof. And that's when you get these gigantic booms. What purpose does that Trump is King coin serve? Goose egg. It's just a name. It's a pump. It's a hype. So for me, I don't mess with them at all. I think personally, they're a grift. I think that they're a scam. I think they're preying off people that don't understand crypto. And more importantly, I believe that a meme coin embarrasses the crypto community, because the crypto community is about financial innovation. It's upgrading the financial system. It's financial inclusion globally. It's taking power away from central banks, institutions, and saying, we don't need you. We can do this ourselves. I can represent myself, be my own bank, and take custody of my money, as opposed to give my money to JP Morgan Chase and have them make 7% interest on it and pay me 0.01. That's what crypto is supposed to be. A new ecosystem of financial discovery, not a bunch of scammers and fraudsters. So in my opinion, if you're trading a meme coin, you're part of the problem. You're supporting an ecosystem of theft, crime, deception, and uselessness. Can you make money at it? Sure, you can make money using meme coins, but there's a lot of other ways to make meme coins in a much more integrity-driven way that doesn't undermine the brand new technology coming to market. So I would not touch a meme coin. Actually, I'm a hypocrite because I bought a meme coin as a joke for my students when we were teaching. I bought some bonk, which is stupid. It's a joke. It's up 25%. I have bought Dogecoin when Elon Musk went on Saturday Night Live because I knew it was going to pump it up. Made 100% rate of return on that one. But otherwise, stay away from it. Right? Stay away from meme coins. Don't support it. Ideally, what I'd like to see happen is government comes in with regulation and meme coins get banned. Not allowed to be traded. Get away from that garbage. No, not doom and gloom, Oliver. Definitely not doom and gloom. Absolutely not. What I'm saying is you have an instrument that serves no purpose. If I buy a share of Tesla, I know what Tesla's doing. They're building something. They're actually employing people. If I buy a meme coin, all I'm doing is making some programmer, saying programmer is a very generous term. I'm giving somebody who is grifting, literally stealing money from people, I'm giving them money. I'm making them filthy rich. That's not doom and gloom. Look, Dogecoin was started as a joke, Oliver. It was started as a joke. It doesn't have any real utility. Some companies have accepted it for payment. Like I think at one point Tesla was accepting it for payments. They don't anymore. They were also accepting it, I think, for Dallas Mavericks payments. They don't anymore. So, at least that one has some utility to it. But Shiba Inu doesn't have any utility. There's no purpose. Doesn't do anything. Does Pepe or Bonk or Floki coin serve any purpose? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. All right, let's see. Yes, we will see because Gensler will be out of there soon. Yes, Gensler's going to be gone soon. That's a pretty certain one for us. And goodbye, Gensler. I'm hoping that the right person replaces him. That they don't have to be like, a raving fan of crypto. They just have to be not so close-minded, which is, let's be honest, Gary Gensler taught cryptocurrency and digital assets. He taught cryptocurrency. What, MIT, Harvard? I forget. I think it's MIT. Yet he says he's never bought, sold, or traded crypto. That's like taking, relationship or sex advice from someone who's never been with a partner, ever. Like, wow, okay, I really trust your opinions and what you're going to do. Anyway. Big Ed said they're just magnets for suckers, in my opinion. What they are is some of the returns on them are unbelievable, right? You'll get like 400% rate of return on some of these cryptos in a short window of time, which is great. But the reality is most people will be the ones left holding the bag from that crypto as it falls off. Let me see what was the big mover today. All right, so you look over here. None of these are, I would say, like all the stuff on my list, I try not to keep meme coins on here. But Dogecoin, it's up 5.8% today. Great. There's one in here. Let me look up Hex token, for example. The Hex token is literally a multi-level Ponzi scheme. This guy's under federal investigation, yet people keep buying it. It's like, how dumb can you be? This is a fraud. You look at, Shiba Inu. Again, if you understand how Shiba Inu was created, what they did when they created it, and how they got it to get such popularity, this is a scam. This is a classic. It'll be on American Greed is one of these like stories of how these kids made so much money. And they're anonymous, by the way, the guys that created it. You showed us how much money is in those meme coins. Unbelievable dollar amounts. Yeah. Oh, that's what really just kind of shocks me. If you go to CoinMarketCap, or you can go to CoinGecko. They all have the same basic stuff. But I'll scroll down here and look. Dogecoin is $29 billion valuation. That's insane. Now, at least Dogecoin is accepted. You can use it some places. But here's Shiba Inu, which is $11 billion. And what's even worse is this one right here, Pepe Coin, which literally on their site, I've shown this to you, on their website, which they've now removed, by the way, it said this serves no purpose. It has no utility. This is a joke that has no value. And it's got $4 billion valuation. So this just tells you the colossal stupidity of some people out there. Pepe Coin, scam, leave it alone. Uniswap, great project. Decentralized exchange, billions of dollars flowing in and out of that exchange every single day. Near Protocol, great project, right? Layer 1 solution, super fast. DAI is a stable coin. Litecoin is kind of silver to Bitcoin's gold. You have, Chainlink is an oracle, critical at the infrastructure level to help all of these blockchains get data from the outside world. Shiba Inu, scam, doesn't do anything. Avalanche, major layer 1 blockchain that's used by Amazon. It's used by JP Morgan. This is a great project. You look at something like Cardano. Cardano is 20022 compliant, which means they can now be sending money remittances around the world. This is my major financial portal potential as well as a layer 1. So a lot of these are really good projects. Some of them are just trash. Yeah, look at that Sol, right? Yeah, Solana. Solana on here as well. I forget where Solana is. Solana should be higher up. I don't know why I'm going this low. Solana's 4th on the list. Okay, great. Solana is one that in a very short window of time could be challenging Ethereum for the biggest market cap, $93 billion. But Solana has huge community of programmers and developers building services, exchange, lending protocols, all these different things on top of that network. That's value. That's utility. Other ones don't do anything. Done. Garbage. All right. I didn't realize it's Friday. I'm going to keep you guys here way past time. So anyway, let's wrap this one up. Cheers to everybody. I hope you have a fantastic remainder of your day. When we get to our show on Monday, obviously you've got tons of stuff to talk about, but Monday is an important day. I know we've got a lot of people here who are veterans and have fought in wars and just serve our country, whether you're in the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marines, whatever that may be, Space Force, Coast Guard, whatever that may be. Monday is obviously going to be Veterans Day. So I hope that someone buys you a cup of coffee or a breakfast or something. And cheers to all of you who are in the armed forces in one branch or the other. Thank you for all that you do, giving me my freedoms and liberties. And I appreciate all that you've done for me. So thank you for those who have served. I will see you guys on our Monday show. And on Monday, Rod and Platinum, I'll get to XRP and XLM, Stellar Lumens and Ripple. We can talk about that on Monday. That said, is the market open? I thought it was. Yeah, Veterans Day is on Monday. Yep. I'm going to do a Monday show. Yeah, market's open. I didn't think it was closed. Monday, it's open. I'll be here Monday. Cheers, everybody. Have a great weekend. If you need anything, email me at tradermerlin@gmail.com. Any ideas, thoughts, whatever. I will see you guys on Monday. Have a fantastic weekend. Cheers.